Good morning, cadets. Today I'll be taking up a writing section. The topic is formal letters. First we have addressee, someone you don't know. We talk about work, business or official subject. The kinds are letter of inquiry, application, complaint, regret. Thank you letters also come in this formal letters. Layout. First you put your address at the top right of the page. Then we write date under the address. Under the date on the left of the page, write the name and address of the company or the person you are writing to. Leave a line. Write your greeting. At the end of the letter, you have to put your name with signature. Address, date, salutation, body, complimentary close, and if there is PS. Address and date. In the top left corner, address and date of the person, company you are writing to. Again in the top left only, we write address and date, a line between the date and address. Example is before you. Hillcrest Secondary School, Post Office Box 60453, Livingstone, Zambia, pin code. Salutation. The most common salutation in an informal letter is dear. Note that it is followed by a comma. Dear Mr. Miss Harkness, if you know the name. Dear Sir or Ma'am, not Dear Manager if you do not know the name. Body, that is topic, formal reason, if you are enclosing something, contact. This is very important. Topic, formal reason why the letter has been written, if you are enclosing something, then contact. Then we have a complimentary close. I look forward to hearing from you. Yours faithfully if you don't know the name. Yours sincerely if you know the name. Style, you should use formal language. Don't use contractions or abbreviations. Use modals such as would, should, could, and don't use friendly or colloquial language. So we should always use formal language, no contractions, modals like would, should, could to be used, and definitely no use of colloquial language. structure and content. You must always give a clear reason for writing because it is not a friendly letter. Link sentences with and, but, because. So to connect the sentences you have to use and, but, because. Divide the letter into clear paragraphs. So the useful language, you may use this: Dear Mr. Miss Harkness, dear sir, ma'am, and not dear manager. Reason for writing: I am writing to apply, to ask you, to complain about. Formal expressions are: I would like, could you send me, I am afraid. Enclosure is I enclose my CV, that is curriculum vitae or my biodata. When you are enclosing your biodata while applying the job, it is called curriculum vitae. Contact: please contact me if you need any more information. Closing should be very pleasing types. I look forward to hearing from you. Yours faithfully, yours sincerely. How to write effective letter. Analyze your reader. Have a clear sense of purpose. First draft, revise and edit your letter. Select the best communication strategy. Very important. Things you have to consider in writing an effective letter. These 7 C's you should be very careful: clear, concise, correct, courteous, conventional, convincing. These are the essential 7 C's for an effective letter. Some more tips and very important tips are: format should be correct, brief and direct to the point. Don't beat the bush. You have to be short, sweet and direct to the point. Relevant: add only required essential things. Polite and well presented. Free from grammatical errors. So you should write grammatically correct English. Tips are very important. Correct format to be followed, to the point, relevant, well presented and courteous language, and no grammatical errors. Certain phrases which express courtesy and consideration. Many thanks for your letter dated. Kindly respond to our request for. Please refer to our order dated. You will be pleased to know that. We appreciate your prompt response to our. We are sorry that we may not be able to grant you. These are the phrases which express courtesy and consideration. So here is a sample letter for quotation. Subject is business letter for quotation. Dear Mildred, I am writing this letter in order to inform you that I am planning to upgrade my computer system. I request you to send me a detailed quotation regarding the requirement for upgradation of my computer. Here is the list of items I would like to upgrade. graphic card of 2 GB, RAM 2 GB, HDD capacity of 500 GB. I have a kind request to you to please do guide me in selecting the latest upgrades and branded company. The price range and the quality should be according to my satisfaction. Kindly send me the quotation of the following items and get in touch with me as soon as possible. Yours faithfully. So this is a sample of quotation letter. Next we have a sample of complaint letter. First we have the address, then sir, subject is complaint regarding the issue of bad parking habits in the locality. I would like to draw your attention to the bad parking habits of residents in our locality. It is resulting in a lot of chaos and no place for parking for those who come back late. Despite defining the area assigned to each vehicle, cars are parked amidst two parking spots. One vehicle occupies the space of 2-3 vehicles, leading to mismanagement. Two-wheelers are placed nowhere near the allotted zone. This creates problems for other people as they have to spend a lot of time finding parking spots in their localities. It induces frustration and tension for the safety of vehicles. Various notice and warnings have been given to the rule violators, but to our surprise or dismay, no betterment can be seen. I request you to take strict action as this is leading to fights between the residents. Effective and speedy action is expected considering the depth of the situation. Yours sincerely, Sanjeet, a concerned citizen. Here is a recap on the tips for writing a formal letter. First of all, be concise. State the purpose of your formal letter in the first paragraph. Don't veer from the subject. Try to avoid flowery language and long words. Keep the letter short to the point. Next important thing is use the right tone. A formal letter should be written in a tone that is slightly more formal than your everyday language. So your tone should be right. It means avoid the following slang or jargon or contraction such as am, can't, it's, vague words such as good and nice. Be polite and respectful even if you are complaining. Take a look at our examples which I have already given so that you can correct your tone, and the tone should be appropriate. This is very important. Proofread. Once you have written your formal letter, carefully check the grammar and spelling. Use the spell check on your computer and then reread the letter, because the spell check will not likely catch every error. Use a dictionary or a thesaurus if necessary. Check the grammar and punctuation for correctness and make sure the sentences are complete. Use proper format and presentation. Remember that the first impression is the one that lasts. Use good quality paper, matching envelope for your formal letter. Make sure the recipient is addressed properly, that his or her name is spelled correctly. Don't forget to sign the letter. Already I have shown you two examples or samples of for these formats. So just go through them again. Heading consists of your address and the date. Telephone numbers, email address are not usually included here, but they are acceptable. Salutation is very important. Skip one line after the inside address. Write the salutation. The salutation depends on whether you know the intended recipient of the formal letter. The usual greeting is dear, followed by person's name and punctuated with a comma. Body. Skip one line after salutation. Begin writing the body of the formal letter. This is the main part of the letter. It is better to use short, clear, logical paragraph to state your content or business. This is the end of the letter. Skip one line after the last paragraph of the body of the letter and write the closing. Only the first word of the closing should be capitalized. It is punctuated with a comma. Leave several lines after closing. Type or print your signature. Use ink. Write your actual handwritten signature between these two printed lines. So yours sincerely, then you can put your signature and then name. Let's just brush the steps of writing an informal letter. You are very familiar with informal letter. I am just brushing up once more for you. Address and date should be written. After you have written the address, leave a line, write the date. Then comes the salutation. The most common salutation in an informal letter is dear. Note that it is followed by a comma. Dear Mimi. So salutation. Content of an informal letter. Introduction. The first paragraph will consist of an introduction which will give the recipient an idea about what you are writing to them, with a formal hi, hello, with a short summary of main topic of your letter. If you don't know the person you are writing to, you may introduce yourself also in the introductory paragraph. Then body. It consists of the message you want to get across along with the details you may want to convey. Conclusion is the last paragraph, wherein you wrap everything up. You can sum up your main idea in this paragraph, thank the recipient, wish the recipient good luck, or ask any questions and convey regards to the family members. Ending of the letter. You can end up your letter with love, lots of love, best wishes, missing you lots, yours forever, yours. Note that it is followed by a comma. So this is your favorite letter. You don't usually make mistakes.
Good morning to one and all present over here. Respected Asha ma'am and all my dear friends. Today it is I, Cadet Shrey, going to speak on the topic racism. Racism is the illogical belief that a particular race has distinctive cultural traits endowed due to genetic factors that make individual races superior to the others and give them the right to exploit inferior races. When we openly state the meaning of racism, we can see how inexplicable and unimaginable such a thought is. But racism is so deep-seated in our consciousness and subconsciousness that we have long bowed down to such infuriating ideals. Such instances of subtle racism within the society can be rampant and lead to inexcusable behavior of people towards others. Such unjustifiable behavior and activities are things like mental stress, social harassment, and even physical assaults. We should never judge a person for the way they look or for the way they speak. All people are born equal and there is nothing changing that. Narrow-minded thoughts like racism should have extinguished with the increase in educated people and the intermixing of various races. But still, sadly, such behavior is the blatant reality and shows no sign of toning down. Racism makes people feel sorry for being born a certain way or for having a certain skin color. Racism has no scientific explanation and racist people are completely ignorant about the feelings of others. For example, back in 2020, a black man named George Floyd was suspected of using a counterfeit $20 bill in a general store. The policemen who arrived at the scene did not bother to investigate but instead knelt on the neck of the black man, which then led to his death. Many protests arose in favor of George Floyd, and slogans like "I can't breathe" and "Black Lives Matter" were used. Nobody can decide to be black, white, dark or fair or anything in particular. God has made us and there is nothing that should make us feel ashamed for that. It is ridiculous and inhumane to make fun of people due to their cultural backgrounds or color of skin. We keep talking about how modern society embraces diverse cultures and diverse people. We talk about achieving gigantic things like world peace, eradicate hunger and poverty, but we are not ready to unite to make such changes happen. Racism is a barrier between social advancement and our society. It is impossible to achieve something great with such narrow-minded and exclusive ideals. It requires people to be more open and embrace the changes. It is possible to eradicate racism in our society if we are more open about such sensitive topics and give simple matters like this a thought. Most of us are way too self-centered to think of such obstacles. It is so commonplace a behavior that we tend to forget its adverse effects. It is high time we made a change. Since racism is such a deep-seated belief, we will need time to change. But we can achieve anything if we put our mind to it. We do not need racism to divide us. People should acknowledge the fact that to achieve anything great, we should let go of such narrow-minded beliefs. Only then can we advance as a society of the world. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Have a nice day.